Hello everybody, Accureye here, and welcome back to another 101 tips video about Overwatch. Today we will be talking about a character on Overwatch who I play as a lot on the game. I do play Overwatch I've played quite a bit of Overwatch with Lucio, who is a character that is well, he is the first healer, at least on tonight's bit of the tips videos that we will be talking about. So Lucio, of course, is one of the few healers I got into early on in the game. He's still a very, very main used character for me, and of course, with that being said, he is a character that I do tend to use a lot for healing and all that stuff. So yeah, Lucio, of course, like I've said, is a very mainstream healer for me. You know, as I've said before, he gets used very, very often by me, especially in the game, because of course, you know, Lucio is he's a pretty darn good healer, to be honest. Like, let me be honest with you, if you have any healer that you want to get into early on, Lucio is definitely the guy you want to try to get into, because, as I've said before, he has so many different abilities. Not only can he speed up, you know, the movement of your team, but he also can, you know, do a lot of, he can also do a lot of, you know, things like being able to group heal everyone, and his ultimate, of course, puts an overshield on practically everyone, in general. So, you know, I mean, if there's anyone that I personally enjoy, and I personally love using, going into the game, it's of course Lucio, because like I said, he just has so many abilities on his you know, on the, you know, on it that, you know, he can use and whatnot. So, you know, with that all being said, you know, and I do apologize to anyone if there was a little bit of background noise when I was recording this. You know, as I've said on my streams before, sometimes, especially if it's down to live streams, especially on like with my family or anything, sometimes the volume, I can't always control the overall quality. So I do apologize if this video is one of those videos where the audio quality does not line up with what I'm doing, because sometimes, like I've said, there are background noises, especially if you've been with me on Twitch for a while. You know how you know what happens. Sometimes the audio background can get a little loud, if you will. So, you know. But anyway, back to Lucio. I mean, Lucio also has this group ability, which, as you can see, you probably saw me use it a little bit, where, you know, I can literally just group someone off the course. But I mean, for anyone who's trying to get into healing or whatever, I definitely would recommend Lucio as your main healer to start off with, because he's so easy to get into. And honestly, like I've said, there's times where you're going to see Lucio, you know, pretty much be able to dominate the competition when it comes to helping push the objective and just keeping a group alive. I mean, you know, normally his speed ability gets used more to keep the movement speed up, but his group heal ability also makes him such a you know, such a great character to use. So with that being said, I mean, you know, as I've said, there are times where Lucio really is just able to just, you know, dominate the competition as far as, you know, my concerns go. And, you know, and you can see it here, how Lucio, I mean, anyone who's good at Lucio can pretty much keep a team alive. I mean, your main job is to, of course, suck up damage and then keep your team alive and run away. So, to my opinion, even though Lucio did run into a, even though Lucio does run into a ability of being able to, you know, being able to heal up everyone pretty well, it's kind of surprising that Lucio doesn't run, you know, run into being a considered tank, because obviously, like I've said before, tanks, you know, the thing about the tanks is that they are very, you know, it's very easy to, you know, have a tank that pretty much can, you know, can just dominate the competition. And Lucio is kind of one of those characters that, you know, when you think about it, especially if you're a good Lucio and you have time to really know Lucio's abilities, he can dominate things. He can literally just dominate the competition and dominate things that are going on. So, you know, I may have to re-record this audio. Actually, I'm looking at some of the audio and it might need to be re-recorded, which I hate doing, but yeah. Actually, maybe I can use the lab to clean it up. But anyway. So, yeah, you know, that's the thing about Lucio, is that he is such a great person to try and, you know, you know, just pick up healing and, you know, just in many ways dominate the competition by making it to where he may seem like an obvious tank. And, you know, obviously he isn't really a tank. He's just another, you know, he's just another healer type, class, if you will. So, you know, of course, obviously there are times where, you know, of course you'll see it to where, you know, he just, it seems like, you know, he could be a tank, but he's really not a tank, you know. And yeah, that's the one thing I've noticed about you know, about Lucio, and you know, and just like, you know, his abilities overall. Now, you know, and that's the thing about Lucio, is like, he's such a great healer, and as you can see, if you can group up your full team, you can basically almost always guarantee a little bit of a, you can always kind of guarantee a little bit of a, you know, a bit of a, you know, what you call it, you know, a, if you will, you know, you know, a, you know, a, you know, a, you know, a, you know, thing, you know, because he's so good. Lucio, as you can see here, he's just so good at pushing things and, you know, in general, just, keeping the train moving, if you will. You know, and that's the thing about Lucio, he's such a sleeper for healing. Like anyone who uses Lucio, for healing, you know, yeah, you'll find that he's just such a darn sleeper sometimes when it comes to healing. Sometimes he's just like, you know, it just is literally him. It's like literally him that, you will, you know, that you will, you know, you know, you will, you know, you will have to worry about, you know. That's something that I've noticed, especially going forward with Lucio, is that, you know, you literally are going to have times where he just literally is, you know, if you will, doing these things like, you know, looking for turrets, looking for, you know, whatever the thing is that's like considerably distracting. And that's something I've noticed about, you know, about Lucio, is that, you know, no matter what you do, you'll find that he does have times where, you know, he'll run in and you'll see Lucio come in. Like a good Lucio, you'll see him come in. He may all of a sudden just try to make it to where you focus on him, he's keeping his team alive, and all of a sudden, then it all of a sudden goes out to being like a completely different play style, if you will, and that's something that that you will notice, especially going forward with things, is that he always can pretty much change the competition into, like, as you can see here, like, that Accureye basically tried to focus on me because he knew he knows what I'm going to do. He knows I'm going to come in, and he knows I'm going to, just like, mess around with his, with what he's, with what he's doing, And that's something you will see, especially going forward with, like, Lucio in general, is the fact that, he just has such a ability to kind of control the competition. And, I mean, Lucio does get used a lot by people, but I feel that Lucio just has times where, it's like, he doesn't have, much of a, what you call it, thing going on. He doesn't have much of a, time where things just go in a situation that works for, the enemy sometimes. Like Lucio, sometimes, like I've said, Lucio to me, he would be confused sometimes maybe to be possibly a tank instead of an actual healer, because he's so good at healing, but he's also so good at just absorbing damage, and that's something why tanks are just so it's like, it might be a little confusing to see that possibility of having a person be this tank, and it all, or be this healer like Lucio, and then all of a sudden the tank just comes in, or he just comes in like a tank and wrecks everything, so, like, in general, that's something that I've noticed is just, it seems kind of normal for Lucio. It seems like it's just a thing where it happens. It literally will happen. So, but anyway, I mean, that's the thing about Lucio, is that he is kind of a confusing, character for many people, especially if they're trying to, like, find a healer that they could use, and, and oops, well, as you could see there, if you were wondering what was going on in the background with the Marvel vs. Capcom thing, I was trying to, okay. So yeah, anyway, I mean, Lucio, he's just such a different character. He's interesting in his own way, and, and sorry about the cut there. Before the cut, I was trying to reinstall Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite, but I was having some issues with the disc for some reason. So anyway, the thing is that Lucio is just such a different healer. He's so different compared to everyone else, and I think that's what makes him unique in many ways, and that's what makes him great for what he does. Because he's different. He's not like your usual healer. He's not someone that you usually would think of as a healer, and sometimes he could be accidentally mistaken for being a possible tank. So, so with that being said, I mean, it's just so easy to have a time or things where it's like, wow, I was not expecting Lucio to be, what he is. I was not expecting Lucio to do that, because he's more than just being a mover, a person who can help speed up the battle or speed the pace up a little. But he's also, like, sometimes a person who, when timed correctly and when done correctly, he can really be confusing for possibly being a tank or something. And he could be, mistaken for being something other than, what he is. But anyway, I mean, sorry about this sneeze, man, my friends. Sorry about the sneeze, everyone. Sheesh. But anyway, I mean, hopefully you've enjoyed this video. These are basically my tips on Lucio. I hope you enjoyed the video as it is. And I mean, get out there and try new characters, because like people like Lucio, that my tips, I mean, they're hopefully here to help you become a better player of any type of these characters. I will be going over all of them, because as they come out and as we get more and more new characters or whatever. So, with that being said, I mean, these were mostly my tips. Hopefully you'll enjoy the rest of the video. And, for the most part, Lucio is kind of a solo class all his own. He doesn't really need people like, helping him, unless it's, of course, for extra support. He can kind of handle things, for the most part, in, his own fashion, alone, if you will. He doesn't really require, the necessary need of a backup, a supportive, a whatever, He just, it's basically all him, for the most part, if you will. And, with that being said, I mean, like I've said before, thank you everyone for joining me today. Thank you for enjoying this video. Hopefully you'll find these tips useful, and hopefully you too will be, if you want to try out a healer or become a healer type class. I mean, try out Lucio. He was my first healer to really get into. He was the first healer I really tried out for anything on Overwatch. I mean, especially after like Widowmaker, who was really my first original character to play as. Lucio was kind of the first healer I got into. I know many people claim like Mercy is one of the best healers. She's great, and I mean, yes, she's good in her own ways, and I will get into my own reasons of why she's good, but I'll also get into my own reasons of why she's actually probably not the best healer in the game. Because there are times where I find a Mercy, is so overplayed, and mostly she's played for, her revival skill. But like I said, I'll go more into these details as we talk about Mercy when the time comes. But for now, thank you everyone for joining me today. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being part of the stream. Thank you for being part of the channel. We will be back on, we will be back with another video very soon. But if you like this video, you know what to do. Thank you everyone for joining me. If you like this video, you know what to do. Hit that like button, get subscribed, hit that bell notification so you know when I'm dropping the next video. Because I drop videos pretty much basically daily on YouTube. And I stream Wednesday, Thursday, and Saturday on Twitch. If you don't know my Twitch ID, it's www.twitch.tv/Accureye. But thank you everyone for joining me today. You know what to do if you liked this video. If you didn't like this video, well, hey, what am I going to do? But thank you everyone for joining me. And until the next one, this is Accureye signing out and saying farewell, everyone. So farewell, everybody.